there, my name is Ms.RedNebula and welcome back to Planet Zoo. I figured I would kind of start things off by going into doing all of the career mode stuff, or maybe not all of, I don't know, I'll do some of the career mode stuff and see how I feel about it. I did go in and briefly start fussing around in the franchise mode, and of course then on Tuesday after the release, I did do a little bit of a live stream thing, my first attempt at such, and went through in sandbox mode just looking at all of the different animals and a whole bunch of the different kinds of objects that we have in the game to be able to use in all our parks and stuff, all the stuff in the construction tab and what the different rides are and all of that stuff. So feeling pretty good about this whole thing. I wanted to jump in here and do, since this one is also a tutorial level and there's some really useful stuff that turns up in those tutorials. So this is the Ape-renticeship, and of course all of these have these horrible pun names. We were warned that Bernie Goodwin is full of dad jokes, and dad jokes seem to thrive on puns. So apparently Frontier thought we needed some punishment. Anyway, the Madagascan Simian Conservation Project. The Madagascan Simian Conservation Zoo is the culmination of Bernard Goodwin's work in the region, specializing in simian breeds and breed and release programs, as well as championing and highlighting the diverse species of apes and monkeys. But never one to be complacent, Bernard now wants to see what you can do with this most promising of locations. Hopefully not burn it to the ground. 'Cause, well, I like sandbox stuff, so this is always interesting jumping into this stuff, but I really do like the idea of having a little bit more of a challenge to the whole thing and making sure that everything's actually running properly. Anyway, here we are. Very pretty.
Welcome to Madagascar. It's
Hi.
quite the change of scenery from dreary old England, huh?
Boy,
Apart from the weather,
I live in a desert.
Don't call these places rainforest for nothing.
Uh-oh. It's going to rain a lot, isn't it?
It is an ape sanctuary where we're doing vitally important conservation work, not just for apes, but for all
Zoha.
kinds of species. But apes, well, apes are some of the closest relatives to humans there are. And yet, the way the world treats them is like, well, very much like some of us treat our actual relatives. Anyway, that's why I'm determined that our operation here does some good. If we can all leave some part of the world in a better state than we found it, we'll have lived lives worth living.
That's
And
fair.
speaking of states, I have a horrible feeling I left the house in a right one. When I get back, I expect my life won't be worth living at all.
This is more wife
What do you
jokes.
think of Madagascar then? Bit warm for my taste, to be honest. Anyway, this is Bernie's primate sanctuary. It's not just primates though. We've got all sorts of animals. So why don't we go and have a look at some of them, eh? We'll start by taking a look at the red ruffed lemurs. They're the ones that look like they should be in a Shakespeare play. Come on, let's head over to them.
Can I? Let me move around. You're still doing all cutscenes and stuff. There we go.
Red ruffed lemurs are found in the
Oh,
rainforest
beautiful.
of Masuala. That's in northeast Madagascar. They can actually live anywhere from 15 up to 25 years. Fancy that, eh? Okay, when you're ready, let's go find our Bornean orangutans.
Oh, but I want to look at these guys. They're cute. They're so cute. Look at those huge, crazy eyes. Hello, you're adorable. Oh, bye. I mean, just the fact that they can crawl all over this. The babies! Sorry, I found babies and needed to squee over them slightly. Y'all are gonna just have to deal with that. That's gonna be a lot of me playing this. I love how they're all over this. I didn't really do much with the climbing critters before. Okay, what are we supposed to be looking at? She said Bornean orangutans. Let's get a good view of this whole thing. Hello, orangutans.
The Bornean orangutan is such a marvellous creature. They're always a big favourite at any zoo they feature in. And they're
Yeah,
also
well.
the biggest tree-dwelling animal on the planet. Assuming you don't count any lions that got stuck up one.
Well,
Oh, why don't you
I
take
mean,
a better look at them? Open up their information panel and go into the animal camera.
oh, all right then.
Aren't they
Look
just
at that
incredible?
fur. I love them.
When you're ready, let's go and have a look-see at some of our beautiful bonobos. They're quite the characters.
Is that how you pronounce that? I thought it was bonobo. Or maybe that's a sort of more Welsh pronunciation. I actually did a 23andMe thing, and it turns out I've got quite a bit of Welsh.
Yeah. It looks like we've arrived just in time. One of the habitat's barriers has collapsed.
Oh
And
no!
wouldn't you know it, one of the bonobos has made a run for it. We'll need to catch them. But before we do, we should box up the other bonobos to stop them escaping too.
Okay, well I know
Select the
how to
habitat
do that.
boundary to bring up the habitat information panel.
And then we box all animals.
Good. Now open the animals tab.
I did that.
Now, we'll need a vet to recapture that escaped bonobo, but it seems our last one left to do some research in the wild. Not an ideal situation. So, we'll need to hire a replacement, Sharpish.
Oh,
Go
right,
into the
all
zoo
right.
section and then
Let's
into
get
the staff management area.
staff management,
Find
veterinarian.
all of your staff in
Where are
here,
you, you
but
silly
there's no
monkey?
time to go looking at their particulars at the moment. Hire a vet.
I did. It's right there.
Oh, okay, that's a relief. So while the vet deals with our bonobo friend, let's go fix up their habitat so they can't escape again. Head back over there.
Okay,
As you
so
can see, the barrier's collapsed.
I don't
Someone's
see
taken
that.
their eye off the ball, obviously. Let's get this one replaced. Select the barrier and then we'll edit it. Delete the broken section of barrier and replace it with a brand spanking new one.
I don't see where it's broken. Oh, there you are. So delete the broken section of barrier. Okay. Let's get the angle snap off on this and go a little bit bigger. There we go.
Good. Now that we've done that, we need to make sure
it
to add
needs the-
climb-proof barriers to
I
the
was
top.
gonna say, it needs the
That way
climb-proof thing.
bonobos won't be able to climb out. Just make sure you've got the correct piece of barrier selected when you do that.
Correct, and
Okay, so
Climb-proof
go
left?
into the options
Hey,
section
I'm
and select
working on
which
it.
side the climb-proof barrier needs to go on. And don't get it wrong. We're more worried about bonobos climbing out than guests climbing in.
I'd be a little bit worried about both,
Nicely
frankly.
done. And I think it's high time we unbox those bonobos, wouldn't you say? The poor mites will get sad if we leave them in there for too long. Select the habitat barrier to bring up the habitat information panel again.
I'm still in edit mode. Can I get out of edit mode first? Okay, stop. Just
And then
select.
open the
There we
Animals
go.
tab.
Animals and
And
unbox.
finally, click on Unbox
Yeah, I got
all
that.
animals to let them out.
Can I look at these
Expect
little
some of
guys
them are
now?
fair bursting for the toilet.
Hello.
So, it turns out that as well as the old vet leaving, the zoo's mechanics did too. We'll
Oh,
need to
for
hire
goodness
a couple of
sakes.
new ones so we can help stop any more breakouts. You see, mechanics do all sorts of helpful things around the zoo, but one of their most important
here,
jobs
come
is taking care of the habitat barriers.
That's
Without
kind of
mechanics
important,
around
yeah.
to repair them, the barriers will crack, crumble, and fall down. And before
Ah.
you know it, we'll be overrun with escaped animals. Go into the zoo section and then into the staff management area again.
I know I need to do that, but they were grooming. That's so cool. Okay, I officially like you guys. Alright, I should probably do what she says before all heck breaks loose. Right, so we are to hire a couple of
mechanic and then
mechanics.
click on a path to place them in the zoo.
Boop.
And
Can I-
then click on the path again to hire a second mechanic.
Uh,
As you
boop.
can see, you don't have to go back into staff management if you're hiring lots of the same type of staff member.
Awesome.
Gosh, we have been busy, haven't we? Good work there. I'm off for a cuppa. Oh, I think Bernie wants a word with you.
Alright. I don't need to hire any more of those guys.
Oh, I hear you had a bit of an issue with an escaped bonobo. The main thing is that you dealt with it swiftly. And more
I
importantly,
did.
without the animals stealing someone's clothes, putting them on, and then walking out of the front gate.
Has that happened a lot?
Another key responsibility for our vets is animal research. Researching animals allows vets to unlock new enrichment items, additional information for our education resources, enhanced breeding programs, and improvements to food quality. The animals' food, not the vets. It'll take more than a research grant to improve the staff canteen. Anyway,
Well, isn't that our job too?
Research is a key part of running your zoo. In order for a vet to undertake research, they require a research center.
Like,
And once again, that's something
nice
that this
empty
zoo is
building.
missing. So let's build one. I've marked out an area for you to put it.
Very well.
Now, you've probably noticed that there's already a building where I want you to build the research center. Don't
Yep.
worry. You see, the building that's currently there is actually a hollow shell. So we're able to place our new building inside of it. If you select the research center for placement and then hover over the shell, you'll see that it asks if you want to add the research center to the existing building. Okay, click to add it to the building. Oh, but that won't place it in just yet, though. First, we'll need to rotate our research center so it automatically
I've
connects
done
to
that.
the path when we place it.
I've done that.
Right.
Good,
Splendid
thank you.
work. Now that we have a brand spanking new research center,
a little
we can
ugly on
give
the
our
front.
vets something to do in there. Oh, by the way, it's worth noting that the vets will only do research when they're not required to do any other jobs. That said, you
Yeah, I
can
kinda
change what
realized
jobs a vet
that.
does via their information panel. But let's not worry about that just now. So, let's get our
Find
vet
vet
researching
research.
ring-tailed lemurs. Go into the zoo section and select vet research.
Okay.
Here, you can see a list of all the animals present in your zoo, and also all the potential diseases that can occur. Now,
See, that's the bit
drag
that
and
scares
drop your
me.
vet onto the ring-tailed lemur to start their research.
There you go.
Actually, thinking about it, I'm not sure we've got any education boards or speakers by the lemur's habitat. Let's head over there and add some, so our guests can learn all about the furry little delights.
Oh my gosh, it's on the other side of the zoo. Let me pause real
First
quick
off,
because I...
let's pop
no!
down 2 education boards. Place them on the habitat barriers at a
I'll
height
get
that
there.
guests can see, or if you like, pop them down on a stand.
Right. Shush a second, because I wanted to mention something that I learned during the beta that was very, very important when it came to doing vet research and stuff, is that the veterinarians have to be able to get to the enclosure of the animal that they're researching in order to do part of their research. Like, they spend some of their time in the research center and they spend some of their time actually visiting the animals. So if your research center is on the other side of the park from where your animals are, it's going to take for freaking ever for your vets to do their research, and it was driving me nuts until I figured that out in beta. So I just wanted to throw that out there in case you guys didn't know that. It's really, really useful information. All right, let's get on with the show. All right, we're under facilities, and I think this is guest facilities. It's not giving me a rundown of it. No, viewing devices and speakers. So if I stuff one of these here, turn on align the surface to make placing the boards easier. Oh yeah, well of course, that's on. There's also this thing. Like, if you guys didn't know about this, I press, like right now, it's just going willy-nilly wherever. If you press the F key, it will pop to places like that. See? That's just boop, right where it should be. Another just really useful little
Now
random
they've been
thing.
put into position, we have to tell them what animal to display information about.
We should.
Select one of the education boards to bring up its information panel.
Alright, and I assume ring-tailed
And from the
lemur.
drop-down list, select ring-tailed lemur.
I did that.
Although I'm sure that last part was obvious. When you link
Well,
an education board or a speaker to an animal, you need to make sure that said animal is close by. If it isn't, the guests will get confused and won't learn as much.
oh.
Okay, now that we've done the education boards, let's pop down a pair of speakers. Speakers play audio to the guests, so they can learn while they look at the animals, instead of having to go through the laborious process of reading.
I know, isn't that
One
just
thing
terrible?
to bear in mind is that it's important not to put the speakers too close together. If you do, the guests won't be able to understand what's being said.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So if I put a speaker, like, okay, they don't have like that crazy huge a radius, so I can put one like here, and I can put one over here. Although you assume that if they were saying the same thing, it wouldn't really be a problem. The lower down I can put this, probably the better.
Now we simply need
And
to
then-
link the speakers to the ring-tailed lemurs,
Ring-tailed
just like
lemur?
you did with the education boards.
Alright, do that here.
Fantastic!
Cool.
It's worth remembering that education boards and speakers both need power to work. They
Useful.
won't do much good without it. Ooh, it looks as though our vet has completed their research on ring-tailed lemurs. We'll
Good.
need to collect the results. We can do that by clicking on the notification or by going back into the vet research area.
Oh, was it gifts? What are the gifts?
Go on, collect your research rewards.
Oh,
Just so you know, vets will continue to research an animal even after successfully completing a research level.
it's
I
kind of a
suppose
nice
when you're
thing.
in the zone, you're in the zone.
Hey, well, animals are fascinating to research, so there.
Now that we've enriched the lives of our guests, let's enrich the lives of our ring-tailed lemurs. Some animals, like lemurs, will have a climbing need. That means they have a requirement for a certain amount of climbing space. And you can fulfill that requirement by building them a climbing frame. Let's find out how much more climbing space our lemur friends need, shall we? Select one of them
Look very
and bring up their
sideways.
information panel.
Social,
Next,
is that
click
where
on
the
the
climbing
terrain
stuff?
tab.
No, it's under enrichment, isn't it? Or is it? Okay, well, terrain.
Now, as you can see, the lemurs need quite a lot more climbing space. But as it happens, I've already got a climbing frame blueprint built for you. So you can either pop that down or build one yourself from scratch. By the way, it's not always just climbing needs that you have to worry about. Other animals might need a certain amount of water in their habitat so they can go for a swim. They certainly do keep us on our toes.
But climbing frames are in here. So if I just pop this guy down. Oh, gosh, that's huge. I like it. Let's stick it somewhere. It's raining. Hello, rain. Let's turn this about a little bit. See if that's, it's still not quite there, is it? Let's go over here a little bit and this way. Is that good? Yeah, that looks pretty good. Here, you guys can go way up there.
Oh, that's a great climbing frame for them. They're going to absolutely love it. Do you know what would make them even happier, though? Nicer food. But that's true of all of us, though, isn't it?
Yes.
You can unlock better quality food for animals through research. Luckily, we've already unlocked some for the lemurs, so all that remains is to make sure they get served it from now on. Let's bring up the habitat information panel by selecting the lemur habitat.
Alrighty then. I'm just being fascinated by everybody with their umbrellas. Okay, we want the whole habitat. No, not edit mode. I think it's because
Now select the
when you have multiple habitats that are actually touching each other, it's sometimes a little bit awkward to select just one of them. Okay,
There we
Animals
go.
tab.
As you can see, we can set the food quality in here. Just click on the drop-down menu and select Grade 2 Food Quality. Grade 2 Food Quality. My mouth's already watering.
Yeah, it sounds delightful, doesn't it?
So, a new climbing frame and better food. Oh, you've really
Oh,
spoilt those lemurs
cuties.
rotten. Now, I think it's time we looked at one of the zoo's most important responsibilities. Releasing animals into the wild. You see, when we feel an animal is ready, we can release them into the wild. But what makes an animal a good candidate for release? Well, their age is an important factor. I mean, we can't release an animal that's a juvenile, just as we can't release one that's gotten too old.
Ah.
They'll also need to be fertile. After all, the idea is to repopulate the wild, so the best candidates will have a high fertility gene. And together, the age and fertility of a candidate will determine how many conservation credits we'll be rewarded when we release them. Now, conservation
Little
credits
lemur,
are
are you
vitally
okay?
important. They're the lifeblood of your zoo, because earning them allows you to adopt even more animals. And what's more, the animals you can adopt will be of a higher quality. So, with that in mind, let's pop over to our orangutan habitat.
I love how foggy it looks when it's raining. That's so pretty. And the fact that everybody rushes out and buys umbrellas. Y'all got your umbrellas up. Ooh, nice hats. And a hyena hat. Ooh. Hey, why couldn't I put that on my avatar? I'm a little sad. Okay. See, I've got somebody visiting. And I don't know you, but I'm gonna come say hello. Where are you? Oh, there you are. So if Louis Isby is watching, hi. Probably not. But that would be kind of cool if they were. Alright, let's go to some orangutans.
I'd like you to find Agung, the Bornean orangutan in the habitat, and select him, please. You can either click through each orangutan in turn, or select the habitat barrier, go to the animals tab in the habitat information panel, and find him in the animals list.
That's actually really, really useful advice. Because you can do that and go like that. I found him. But he's so cool, why would I want to release him? I mean, I guess that's why I want to release him. Oh.
I
Bye,
know,
pretty
it's
ape.
sad to see him go, but he'll be happy out in the wild. And he's a wonderful candidate for release. Young, strong, and fertile. Excellent work there. You've definitely got potential, you know.
I shall continue.
Ah, I see you've been doing some homework. Although
This is neat.
it hardly seems like work when you're learning about something as adorable as a ring-tailed lemur. I imagine I'd have got much better grades at school if there'd been less algebra and more aldebra. Tortoises.
Ha 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 ha.
So far, we've done a lot of work with habitat animals, but now it's time to learn all
this is
about
nice.
exhibit animals. Let's build a brand new exhibit. I've marked an area for our new exhibit. How about we head over there?
Okay, but I'm looking at stuff that's just like, this gives some really cool ideas for sort of different ways to build in the different kinds of habitats and stuff. I really like how this is done. The bridge going across here. It's just individual little climbing platform pieces and then rope all done out. Really nice job to the frontier people who put this all together. I like that tree being right in the middle of this bit with the cover over it and stuff. And a floating monkey. It's a floating monkey. I know it's an ape. Shush. All right. Let's go do what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to build a habitat. Where are we? Oh, an exhibit.
Now let's build a new exhibit in the gap that's been left. Just add it to the building like we did with the research center earlier. Then pop it into the gap.
Alrighty then. I can put that right there.
Perfect. The next thing to do is adopt an exhibit animal to go in there. How about a Gila Monster? Open up the exhibit trading section and adopt one.
Gila Monster, wildly appropriate for a zoo in the middle of Madagascar about apes. But I really like Gila Monsters, so let's get on with the show. Hello, cutie.
Just as we do with habitat animals, we need to send the Gila Monster to the exhibit. Click on the exhibit to send it there. When you send an animal to an exhibit, it'll automatically be given the correct setup. but that doesn't mean it's completely ready for them. So let's finish it off. We'll start by adding some enrichment items. Click on the exhibit to bring up its information panel.
Alright.
Good. Now click on the layout tab.
Layout tab?
Oh,
you already researched.
Like we've only got the enrichment level 1 items unlocked at the moment.
Oh.
Never mind. Let's turn on at least one of them for the Gila Monster.
Interesting that it has layout already at 40% for now. I think that in the beta they were starting it at 0. So let's give you a nice little thing.
You can unlock more enrichment levels by having one of your
by researching.
Research. Now we'll also need to set the temperature and humidity in the exhibit. These are vitally important for keeping our Gila Monster happy and comfortable.
I think that would be more important to do first.
Here you can see the Gila Monster's desired temperature and humidity. You can change both of these by adjusting the dials below. Make sure it's going to be nice and cozy.
I'm working on it. 36, 37. Yeah, be happy like that. Okay, we need to go down here just a little bit more because these guys do not like it humid.
Ticket. And the last thing we need to look at is setting up the different windows. So click on the Windows tab. You can edit and customize any of the windows on an exhibit. A window can be closed and blank, or have a 2-dimensional background, or even a 3-dimensional background on it. Why don't you have a play around with the options?
Nope, don't want to close that window.
There's also an exhibit education board. Pop them down near exhibits to teach your guests about them. Let's add one now.
2D facade. Ooh, that's different from the other one. What does the 3D facade look like for these guys? Oh, I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Where is my Gila Monster? I still love that thing where when you go in here, you end up being like super quiet because you can't hear the outside nearly as much. I think because there's these little burrowing things down here. I think he might be hiding in one of those, but we can't see him because of the way that this is built up around the outside of there. But I want to find my little friend. You're... there you are. Hello. Go on. Everybody's acting like they can totally see you. Oh, sorry, I got right in your face there. I've actually seen one of these guys in the wild before. It's a fairly rare thing to actually be able to see one because they don't like to hang out around where people turn up very much. One of very, very few animals, very few lizards in the world that have a venomous bite. I only saw them from a car, so obviously no danger there, and they really, really don't like to bite people unless they feel like it's absolutely necessary. But love these guys, one of our local critters, and I'm just so delighted to see them in the game. You are so beautiful! And I mentioned this during the live stream too, as they have one of the coolest skulls in the animal kingdom, because you see all these little bumps all over their body and you just assume that those are scales on the outside of their body. Their skull actually has those bumps as part of it. Look it up on Google. It's the coolest thing. Or maybe I'll put a picture up on the screen. Anyway, so what are we supposed to be doing? Oh, education board for him. Right, so that's going to be this. And one of these. Cool. And then we will add it to Gila Monster.
Now our guests can learn all about our venomous friend here. Right, now I've got a bit of a big job for you.
Big job.
I need you to increase the number of species in the zoo.
Oh.
You'll probably want to adopt both habitat and exhibit animals to do so, which will mean building plenty of new habitats and exhibits for them.
Oh
Go
dear.
On, off you pop. I'll check in with you
that's
when
gonna
you're
be,
almost done.
But I don't know what I gotta do. I froze all the rain in place. I was getting a little bit nervous because I started having all of this stuff. So-and-so can't find an accessible staff room with space, and tough nuggets. Research is complete. That's nice. Yay! That's always good. And then this is... Oh, no. Are we having that problem again? Where's my red ruffed lemurs? What's wrong, you guys? Do I gotta box you and get you to a quarantine? I really thought that hopefully this stuff was going to be not an issue anymore. Where's your food? That's not food. Where is your food? Is this... That's an enrichment feeder, right? Yep, and it's still got plenty of stuff in it, so are you the one who's having problems? You are. If I just sort of stick you right next to this, will you bloody eat? Go over there. See? Food. Eat food. Food eat right now. If you starve, I'm going to be really upset. Okay, you're being stupid. Right. Don't die. You freaking lemurs anyway. What the heck am I supposed to be doing? Right. So I'm just supposed to add more stuff, right? Have at least 12 species in the zoo. We currently have 9, so that's not exactly a huge crazy amount of stuff that needs to be added. That's good. Actually, given that it took a little while to get that sorted out, I'm going to go ahead and leave this episode here, and I will be adding some species in the next episode. So thank you guys very much for joining me. Feel free to like or comment, and if you want random updates from my little world of art and gaming, subscribe. If you enjoy what I do and are interested in supporting the channel, check out my Patreon. A big thank you to my current patrons. That's all for now. Bye!